Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I want to share how minimalism has really helped me find peace with the situation I'm in and find a balance in my life in general. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I upload videos about sustainability and minimalism. So if you're interested in these topics, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. To maybe tell you where I'm coming from, I was not one of these minimalists that were hoarders before. I was not one of these persons that always had too much stuff and could never decide what they wanted. I more so was always kind of a minimalist. If you want to know the whole story, I will link you a video up there where I talk about how it happened from being a child to growing up to moving abroad. So yeah, I was always kind of a minimalist. I always enjoyed having things looking simple. I always really liked not owning too much things, just being in control of my belongings and knowing where everything is and how to handle everything. But at the same time, I was never one of these people that just wanted everything like it was and then it should be like that forever. I was the opposite. I needed something to change every few months. So I would cut my hair every few months. I would rearrange my whole room every few months. I would start a new project because there was just this feeling of I need something new. Something needs to change. I need to have a huge makeover to change something up because it's boring if it stays like it is right now. And so even though I had never really a problem with shopping too much, owning too much, I always had this urge to change things, to not be okay with the situation how it is, because every few months it would get too boring. I needed something new, not a new thing necessarily, but a change in my life. And I do think that people can be happy in different ways. We don't all have to find happiness in the same way. So part of it, of course, is just how I am, and that is okay. There are people that want life to be more still, no change if possible, and there are other people that like change and that like to explore new things, stretch their comfort zones and things like that. I think that's totally okay, but I still want to talk about this restlessness, this not being super content with where I am, always pushing for something new, something more, something different. And that really showed itself in my teenage years with rearranging my room and cutting my hair and changing my appearance and wanting to pierce my face and things like that, to just in order to make something change, to experience something new. And I always had this question. I just always wanted to know where I'm heading. What is my goal? What do I want to do? What are actually my values? Where is my life heading? I was super unhappy in school, not because I had troubles understanding the things that were taught. I was always a good student, but it was just so boring. I thought there's no sense in doing this. I was so bored and so over homework and everything like that. And while I also think that is partially normal, it was not in a super healthy way. Yeah, I was not super happy with the circumstances I was in, even though I had good friends and a very loving family. That was really there was nothing wrong, just that I was not comfortable there, just that I needed to change, that I wanted new things. And searching these things, I also found minimalism. And minimalism was a great new project. I decluttered everything. I got my belongings under control even more, especially for moving abroad. It was so practical, and I downsized more and more and more. I had my capsule wardrobe, which was shrinking and shrinking. And so minimalism was just a new project. So during the first year or first 2 years, maybe, I was focused on downsizing, on thinking about the ideal belongings that I would own, maybe changing these belongings, buying new things secondhand, decluttering old things that I didn't want anymore, and perfecting my lifestyle like that. But the longer I did it, the more I realized that I was not entirely happy, that it was not the answer to all my questions. Because my questions were not which items do I need to live a happy life, but my question was actually what are the values, or what do I want to do in life to be happy. But the answer that I have now figured out, and that's not a definite answer, that's not the end of everything, but I think the answer to all of these questions I had is that it is just a journey And minimalism really showed it to me in a way that it uncovered the real issue, because I was just running from one project to the next, thought I was stressed about school, then I thought I was stressed about, like, I don't know, moving abroad, thought I was stressed about my stuff, thought I was stressed about finding a place in the city because it's super hard to find a new apartment here, but that was not actually the problem. Like, these were problems, of course, but once they were fixed, once I could like declutter everything I wanted, and after decluttering realized that it's still not fixed. And I think minimalism is great at that, at like removing all the distractions to actually come to the core of what the questions are that you have, what the things are that you need to figure out for yourself to live a more happy and fulfilled life. I will never own the perfect items, because as soon as I own the perfect item, it could happen that 2 days later it's not perfect anymore because I figure out something that would be better. And I think that happens to so many people, that they think if they buy the new iPhone, I know that's a bad like example because everybody always takes this example, but maybe, for example, my backpack. I bought this backpack thinking it was the perfect backpack, and in many ways it really is, but there are still a few things that I might want to change. But if I changed it, or if I manufactured my own backpack, there would maybe still be things that are not perfect, because the things I want to carry around with me change, because the trips I want to go on change, because my favorite color changes, anything like that. I think it's almost impossible to find things that are perfect, or to actually define a goal in life, to reach it and to then see that it is actually as fulfilling as you thought, or that it solves all your problems like you sometimes think in advance it would. And with minimalism, in many ways, I tried to find my solution in minimalism itself. And I have talked about that in many videos before, that I don't think that minimalism is the end goal or the solution to everything, because I think minimalism is just a good tool, a good lifestyle to figure out what you're actually passionate about, what actually are your values that you want to live by. And then by applying minimalism, you can have more of the things that are important to you and less of the things that are just distracting and taking away your time and energy. So I think minimalism is great for that, but it is not a solution. And for, I think, a few years, I tried to make minimalism the solution. I tried to be the perfect minimalist by owning less and less. I was in between there, trying to be a more extreme minimalist, trying to be a person that does not buy that many things, trying to figure out how to be an extreme minimalist while still living here and not be like traveling all the time. Things like that. But I realized that there's no answer for that. There's no real kind of minimalism that makes everybody happy, because minimalism is not the end goal and is not the thing that would make people happy. Minimalism is just, there to help you discover what is important to you, what are the issues maybe are that you have to work on. It's also really good if you are a hoarder, if you have problems with like impulse buying, to maybe find routines and habits to stop that, to live a happier life, because you don't spend money you don't want to spend, you don't accumulate things that don't actually serve a purpose. But in the end, you're still you, and your stuff does not define you. So I found for myself, in order to find balance, I have to accept that it is okay to not always have the answer. That it is okay if sometimes something is more in focus than the other thing, which seems to be unbalanced maybe. But there is no sense in like dividing up your time and energy in equal parts for all the things that maybe other people want you to do. But you have to figure out what is important to you in the moment. And sometimes balance, I think, means being unbalanced. It sometimes means feeling what you need right now and feeling what the things are that you have to focus on in order to move on. And it has helped me a great deal to find more balance and more peace in my everyday life, to accept that sometimes I'm not happy about it. Sometimes I want to declutter my whole house. Sometimes I want to buy new things because I realize that I need to feel good in my environment, that I need to feel at home in my apartment, even if that means moving away from like the minimalist idea of owning the least amount possible. And so minimalism really has uncovered that the things in so many ways to help me show what it is that I actually need. It helped me show that actually nature, for example, can make me so happy, and it's such a small thing. I can just go outside, I can move, that makes me so happy. Seeing sunshine makes me really happy. Cooking good meals and being with my family and just spending some time reading, for example, showering, doing nothing. There are so many things that are not things that make me happy. The amount of stuff I have does not determine how happy I am. The lack of stuff does not determine how happy I am. Stuff for me are tools and sometimes I need to add certain tools in order to make things that I want to make, and sometimes I can remove some because they are unnecessary. So I realized finding peace is also a lot about just figuring out what's right for yourself. There are so many kinds of minimalists, there are so many kinds of people, and so many of them have an opinion on what is best for you. So many of them want to tell you how to be a minimalist, how to be a person, what you should focus on, how you should balance your life, what things should have how much value in your life and get how much of your attention and time. But for me, it has really been a huge step through minimalism, because minimalism is something a bit extraordinary for a lot of people. Figure out what I want. Being better at being different, being better at just trying to be myself, being better at not listening to other people to tell me what's good for me, but to just listen to myself, what I feel is best for me. It has also helped me accept that sometimes I cannot do something. It has also helped me accept that sometimes things that I thought were the solution are not. And it has also taught me that that is okay. It's okay if you change your mind. It's okay if you have to take a step back. It's okay if you're one day obsessed about decluttering and the other day need to purchase something new. It's okay if you are a minimalist that has different things than other minimalists, and it's okay if you're not. And it's okay if minimalism is not the answer for you. It's okay if that's not a tool that helps you achieve your dreams or the life you want. It's okay to, after years of thinking and living a minimalist lifestyle, to still not have all the answer and to still be wondering and not knowing where life is going for you. Because I do think that it is a journey, and I do think that for me, minimalism is a great tool to uncover more and more of the things that are important to me, just because I have more time and energy to focus on these things instead of material possessions. But minimalism really goes beyond these material possessions, and that is, I think, where it gets really interesting. And so I do hope that also in the future, minimalism will help me uncover even more things that are crucial for me to live a fulfilled and happy life. I would really be interested in knowing how you would define a balanced or happy life, if balance is important to you, and if you think balance means distributing your time equally for different areas of your life, or if you also think that balance sometimes means figuring out what's important right now. I know this somehow goes a bit against the definition of a scale that is balanced, but sometimes if something is more important, then there has to be more weight, I think, in order to feel balanced. It does not always mean it is in balance, that you give the same amount of energy and time and money to each individual phase or part of your life, just because I don't think at one point in time it has to be equal, but maybe over a few years. And sometimes there are phases where you need to study and do a lot of things that you don't like. Sometimes there are phases of hard work, phases of where you just have some free time and need to recover from other things, and phases where you're super happy and phases where you're not that happy and not super content with where you are. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to tell me anything, leave it down below in the comments. I will read them, all of them, as much as possible at least. And if you want to see more videos, I'll link you a video and a playlist right here, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!